Good morning, YouTube. It is January 19th. Holy shit, January's already flying by. It'll be 2027 before you even know it. 9:11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 23 degrees this morning in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It is cold outside, ladies and gentlemen. Cold outside. But we're persevering. I love it. I just do. There was a pretty great slate of games last night across the board. Only 4 or 5 games, but they were all pretty good. And on paper, they didn't look like they'd be that good, but they do end up being that good, and they do leave us with quite a bit to talk about. If you're watching this over on YouTube, you can check these out live every morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on playback.tv/slightlybiased. It's free to sign up. It's a great way to help out the channel, chilling in the rooms. If you're watching this on playback.tv/slightlybiased, you can check this out on the Slightly Biased Clips channel, where if you haven't subscribed yet, do make sure you subscribe. Okay? Thank you. Trying to get to 1,000 subs, right? For no reason other than I just want to make money. Other than that, I don't give a shit how many subscribers are on that channel. Okay, as long as people are watching the videos. I just need to get to 1,000. Then they can just sit there. I don't care. Honest to God. All right, let's get down to business. Let's talk about some of the stuff going on last night. Not a lot of trade rumors over the past 24 hours since I last spoke to you all. Some Quentin Grimes stuff here and there. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not getting worked up over Quentin Grimes rumors. So whatever, to me, it's completely whatever. But an interesting slate of games, some interesting storylines. I guess we could talk about this Timberwolves Grizzlies games. The Grizzlies played hard. They played hard. This was a pretty competitive game until the fourth quarter, where the Timberwolves put the clamps on the Grizzlies, who have like no real point guard at all to speak of. No real point guard at all to speak of. You know, it literally, like, Jaren Jackson Jr. is bringing the ball up the floor for them and stuff, and he did have 36 points, but it's not the prettiest looking offense, and in the fourth quarter, it really fell apart. They were getting saved by, like, Luke Kennard being red hot from 3, and the team as a whole being red hot from 3, but, 14 turnovers. Fourth quarter, they only scored 17 points. They are who they are. They're incredibly injured. I do think this is going to be, in the long term, a season where you look back on it, and you're like, okay, it was kind of worth it in the end. Some guys got to develop. Some guys got to do things that they weren't accustomed to doing. And it helped with the development and stuff like that. And now next season comes around, and we're trying to be good again. And Ja's healthy for a full season, hopefully. And Brandon Clark's back, and Steven Adams is back. Desmond Bane is healthy, hopefully. Then we got a bunch of guys who are comfortable doing stuff. Xbox year in review. Discover your gaming triumphs. No, I don't want to do that. Thank you, though, for popping up on my fucking screen. Santi Aldama, did he have a brain injury entering this game? If you watch this game, you know what I'm talking about. Did Santi Aldama have a brain injury heading into this game? Him and Rudy Gobert got into it a little bit early on. Is there like a beef there? I was trying to think, like, French and Santi Aldama's a Spaniard, right? So is there maybe some like national team stuff there? Like, I don't know. Santi Aldama, I want to say, this guy's listed as a 7-footer. I have never seen a 7-footer, and we make jokes about like KP and stuff, but I have never seen a 7-footer look less like a 7-footer on the basketball court than Santi Aldama. He does next to nothing you want a 7-footer to do. But he's a good player, though. He does some things pretty interesting. So, especially at his size, I actually had no clue he was 7 feet tall. But anyways, embarrassing stuff. Like, him and Gobert got into it. And he kept, like, trying to just take Gobert off the dribble and like, finish over him. And Gobert was just embarrassing him. Gobert had 6 blocks in this game. I was just like, is he okay? Does he need to be taken out of this game? But obviously, the big highlight, you've probably already seen it, from this game was Anthony Edwards throwing this ridiculous lob off the backboard to himself. I mean, that is absolutely insane. I saw somebody mention this, and it does kind of feel like this. Anthony Edwards feels like a 90s, 2000s superstar. Like, when you watch him play, he doesn't feel like a 2024 superstar in the way that he plays. It does feel very much like that early 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. Uber athlete, just like more athletic than everybody on the court. some inefficient mid-range jumpers, some terrible turnovers, like all of the fixings of a megastar from that era. He had 2 points after the end of the first half and really just kind of turned it on in the second half. It was pretty fun to watch, man, when he gets going. It's crazy. Naz Reid off the bench, of course, went nuts. I mean, I swear to God, I don't think I've ever seen this guy miss a shot. He went 8 of 13, so the box score says he missed 5 points. Or 5 shots. I don't believe it. I don't believe he actually missed 5 shots. I refuse to believe it. But it was a nice win for the Timberwolves. I know they played this beat-up Grizzlies team, but I actually liked this win for them. I thought it showed a lot of things, because in the first half of this game, they looked like shit. Looked like they didn't really... I don't want to say they didn't really care, but it looked like they were just really going through the motions and let a team that, on paper, they should have no business hanging around with. Gave them some life. Then in the fourth quarter, they just turned it on. That's really what a team that wants to be as good as Minnesota wants to be. That's what you got to do. Naz Reid somehow moves like a 6'2" guard. Yeah, he's incredibly skilled offensively, man. Incredibly skilled. And Anthony Edwards said it in his post-game interview on TNT, like, if he's going offensively, they're really hard to beat, and he's right. He's absolutely right. But Gobert dominated this game defensively, I thought. Was an absolute force down low. Naz Reid is better than Cat. I wouldn't go that far. Mike Conley, too. Like, anytime I felt like the Timberwolves oh my God, the Timberwolves might fucking lose this game. Like, Mike Conley would have an explosion really quickly. Like 5 or 6 points. But just like really quickly. And you're like, okay, they're back. They're back. And then he steadied the ship. Him and Naz Reid steadied the ship long enough for Anthony Edwards to show up in the second half and take the game over. And I thought it was funny. Anthony Edwards in the post-game press conference was like, yeah, I didn't show up ready to play. I feel like that's kind of rare to hear. Like, yeah, I wasn't ready to play tonight. And then I decided I was going to show up and play. So kudos to him. Mike Conley's like the best pull-up shooter in the league right now. Yeah, he's red hot from 3. I don't know what his exact percentages are, but they're high. But the Santi Aldama stuff was just hilarious to me. It's like, what are you doing, brother? Like, can you settle down? Did they not have, like, could a coach not go up to him and be like, hey, dude, chill the fuck out, man. We don't need you taking Rudy Gobert off the dribble and trying to lay it up over him. Mike Conley's 45% from 3 this year. Jesus. On 5 attempts, too. Over 5 attempts. That's actually insane. That's just absolutely absurd. So anyways, a nice win for the Timberwolves. Again, the Grizzlies, they're not good. Their offense can just be so tough to watch whenever it slows down. I mean, Kennard was their point guard, basically. Kennard was, like, essentially playing point guard for them. And again, Jaren Jackson Jr. is, like, bringing the ball up the floor. 27 minutes in this game. This guy just, it's infuriating. It is, and it really limits him as a player. It really limits him as a player. It limits his ceiling as a player. His fouling, it's out of fucking control, man. Especially in a game like this where, hey, we're without Desmond Bane. Obviously, we're without John Morant. We're without Marcus Smart. We're without so many guys. Like, we need you on the floor. We need you doing stuff for us. He had 4 fouls and just committed one of the stupidest offensive fouls you'll ever see. Just like damn near slapped the guy in the back of the head for no reason offensively. It's like, what are you doing? Like, they need you out there, man. Why are you committing that foul? It's insane. Mike Conley's been in the league for 16 years, man. 16 years. Wow. Anthony, like, what an insane play. Is this the dunk of the season so far? Chet threw one off the backboard to himself, but it wasn't, like, really through traffic like this. And it's more impressive for Ant because he's a guard, obviously. Damn. I had no idea what he was doing whenever he did this live. I thought this was a shot attempt or something. Or maybe a lob attempt to Gobert. Jesus. Insanity. 30-11 for Minnesota. Wow. Thunder and Jazz. This was a banger of a game too. Please stop, Windows, please stop fucking giving me alerts. Thank you. This was a banger of a game as well. Thunder and the Jazz. The Jazz have been one of the best teams in the league over the last month. It's been that long now. It's been that long. But the Thunder hold steady. They pull out a win. There were some crazy back and forth moments in this game. Jalen Williams, man. What is the ceiling of this guy? I think we need to just kind of readjust everything with him. Watching them play lately, Chet's still great. He's kind of hit a bit of a wall, especially offensively. J-Dub has been their second best player, I think, pretty comfortably. I think he's been pretty comfortably the second best player on this team. 11 of 14 from the field in this game, 27 points. Really kind of carried them to the win. He was plus 16. He dominated the minutes where he was on the floor and Shea was off the floor. And it swung this game for the Thunder. It was the reason why they won. J-Dub looks so much taller than 6'5" on the court. He's listed as 6'5"? There's no way. He's got to be 6'6". I would have honestly guessed 6'7". He really is listed as 6'5". He doesn't play like it at all. Yeah, he does have an insane wingspan. I did know that. But damn, he was unbelievable in this game, man. And also 8 assists. He just does a lot of things. And his stats over the last, month or so of the season, I think we really got to adjust the expectations here of Jalen Williams. Second-year player. Last 15 games, 21.5 points. 4.3 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Over a steal. And look at the shooting splits. This is over 15 games. 64% from the field. 60 from 3? What the fuck? What? What is that? That's insanity. That's absolute insanity. Man, he's a problem. He's a problem. Hey. Yeah, and his brother went off yesterday for Colorado. I saw that too on Twitter. 23 points. Is his brother supposed to be a high pick in this upcoming draft? Cody Williams? Saw some NBA draft accounts tweeting about him. Field goal percentage of all NBA guards who have played more than 30 games this season. Is Jalen Williams really a guard? I feel like he's a wing to me, but whatever. I don't really care. I do got to say, though, I do have to say, the mix match shoes, man. Pulling up off the dribble like that is crazy. And again, the mix match shoes just really throw me off. I can't stand them. You're too good for that. You're too good for that nonsense, J-Dub. Save that for the Javon Carters of the world. No, God bless them. God bless them. Okay? Save that for the Javon Carters of the world. You're a little too good for the mixed match shoes. I cannot stand them. It looks so goofy. It looks so goofy, man. I hate it. But he is incredible, though. What is his ceiling? I saw someone say Paul George. I don't see the smooth. Paul George is a different breed of smoothness, right? J-Dub's playmaking upside is higher than I think Paul George's was. Paul George, I think, had the better sort of one-on-one, just silky smooth game. the playmaking stuff for J-Dub is what's really enticing to me. I don't know what his comparison would be. I'm so bad at comparisons. Don't they have like a similarity score thing on reference? He's a better outside shooter though too. Yeah, I mean percentage wise, 46% from three. I think Paul George's still a better shooter though, right? Are you talking about Paul George? Or are you talking about J-Dub? Paul George, like the type of threes he can hit are different. Different type of threes. Damn, Paul George in his prime was chunking up 10 threes a game. I was upset about the PG extension. That's a guy I thought had a chance to end up in Dallas. Well, he hasn't signed yet. But it does seem like he's going to, though. Shea was pretty okay in this game. Shea has reached a point where it's like he can have a 31-point game and you're kind of left like, he was all right. He did hit an insane shot at the end, though. He hit an insane shot at the end of this game. Him and Colin Sexton were having like a pretty fun back and forth. But he had some moments down the stretch of this game, including this shot right here, which was just fucking insanity, man. 4-point game, a minute 19 left. I mean, anything's on the table right now. You get to stop right here if you're the Jazz. You're in decent enough shape. I thought the Jazz threw Chet for a loop last night. Chet did not look comfortable. Chet hasn't looked that comfortable offensively for a few games now. I mean, this is spinning, long two, shot clock winding down, fading. Holy shit, that is an insane shot right there, man. Insane. I've heard some scary stuff about the upcoming TV deal for the NBA. Some scary speculation that the NBA might clamp down very hard on people using highlights and stuff, which is not what I'd like to hear. That's just pure speculation. I don't think they would ever do that. Adam Silver has said that they wouldn't do that because social media is just such a big part of their business. I think it makes more sense for them to figure out ways to better monetize the social media and the spread of the league on social media than it is them trying to just squeeze an extra few $1,000,000 here and there by clamping down on this. I think it's a terrible idea, one that would backfire greatly. But again, Colin Sexton had a nice little back and forth in this game with Shea. This was a nasty dunk. Holy shit. Colin Sexton, he's been really good. He's been fun to watch for the Jazz over the last month or so. That would tank the entrance of the sport. They're trying, because the problem is with the NBA is like people really care on social media. People care about the highlights. People care about the viral clips and, the YouTube videos, or it's all the possessions for one player. But they struggle. They struggle when it comes to getting those people converted to like actual TV watchers, which is obviously what matters for them when it's time to negotiate TV deals. So I guess some of this fear is like a TV, whatever partner they're discussing it with, is like, hey, get rid of the social media shit. Like, we want people watching the games on our platforms. We'll tweet out the highlights. People can, watch the highlights that we tweet out, but we don't want people posting their own highlights willy-nilly. Like, there's no fucking problem. Sexton does got that dog in him. Young Bull, 31 points in this game for Sexton. Marketing played well, I thought. 26 points, 10 rebounds, hit some big shots down the stretch. I thought this was a game for the Jazz where you're like, okay, we played close against one of the best teams in the league, obviously, in the Thunder. And couldn't pull it out in the end, but just some of the shot making that OKC had down the stretch of this game was absurd. Casey Wallace hit a few big threes in this game, set up by J-Dub. Though Shea had a couple of disgusting shots at the end of this game, including the one I just showed. I mean, he's so fucking good. And sometimes that's just how it goes. Sometimes that's just how it happens. And you just got to tip your cap. 28-13. What's the Phil Jackson rule? You're not a contender unless you go 40-20. People have done like research on that, and it's pretty true. I feel like that's going to kind of disappear in the coming years when teams like don't take the regular season as seriously, and teams are built more for the playoffs. It feels like where, hey, we just gotta get into the playoffs, and we don't really care about our regular season record. I feel like that might not be a thing that much anymore, but who are the teams that are like close to that rule? The 40-20 rule. The Celtics, barring disaster, will reach it. The Bucks got a solid chance. They got to go 12-7 over their next 19. Sixers 14-7. Mavericks, they got to go. It's gonna be tough for the Mavs. They got to go 16-2. Timberwolves, looks like they'll get there. The Thunder got a pretty decent chance of getting there. Yeah, a lot more parity. A lot more like really good teams combined with like bad teams. I didn't realize this. The Heat are 9-0 in their division. Their division is the Orlando Magic, who are faltering, the Atlanta Hawks, who fucking reek, the Hornets, who are terrible, and the Washington Wizards, who are also terrible. Jeez. So they're kind of feasting. The Raptors, did I read that right? The Raptors are 0-10 against their division. Did I read that right? 0-10 versus their division. They do have the Celtics, Sixers, and Knicks, so that's unfortunate. So the Heat have been handling business against the teams they're supposed to be handling business against, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. The Kings. I'm like damn near done with them. I don't know. It's January 19th. You guys know I've not been high on this Kings team ever, really. Even last year, I think it was kind of clear and obvious when you watched them. I was like, okay, they're doing a lot of interesting things. Their offense is really interesting and good, and they fly around, they move around, the ball moves around. It's pretty fun to watch, but it doesn't seem sustainable in any real significant way in a postseason setting, and it wasn't. And then they go into the offseason with cap space. I mean, they had room to maneuver in the offseason with a glaring need. They needed somebody who can play on the wing for them, who could play some defense and do some things offensively. I thought, Kuzma was just, a perfect fit in a lot of ways. People thought Jeremy Grant. People even thought Draymond. There was a tiny little Draymond thing. I don't know if there was any real validity to that other than, he kind of fits a need. But they do nothing. They brought back Harrison Barnes on a contract that looks fucking terrible. Like, that Harrison Barnes contract is a disaster. The Harrison Barnes contract is a horrible disaster. They brought in Vezenkov. He was actually pretty okay in this game, I thought. Who else did they bring in? Chris Duarte. He sucks. JaVale McGee. He's done. He's not playing. Like, that's a terrible. A terrible offseason. Here's a lesson moving forward. Don't find yourself on some, I'm just happy to be here shit. That's what the Kings found themselves. That's this place the Kings found themselves in after last season. Well, we're just happy to be here. Light the beam, baby. Let's run this thing back. Run this thing back when they had some of the best injury luck of all time last year. To their credit, they took advantage of what was a very weird Western Conference. They were the 3 seed with under 50 wins. Kind of a rarity. And this year, there's something about them, man. Sabonis! Domantas Sabonis. I saw he was like 6th or something on NBA's updated MVP ladder. There's just simply no way. I know I hate on Sabonis all the time. There's just simply no way you can watch Kings games with regularity and look at Sabonis' stats and say, yeah, that makes sense. If you only looked at stats and you saw Sabonis was doing all these different things, all these triple doubles, and then you, like, let's just say you just look at the stats and you know, maybe you live on the East Coast, you don't have time to watch the Kings games or late, and then you tune in for a Kings game, you would leave the game going, oh, that's what, oh, it is like 7 assists a game on just dribble handoffs. Like, it's just 7 assists a game off that usually. Maybe a couple nice passes here and there. And I know I'm on some hater shit, but am I wrong? Anyone who watches the Kings, am I wrong? How many of his assists are just handing the ball off and screening? What is De'Aaron Fox injured? Is there, like, I know that he dealt with some injuries early in the season, but is there are we a couple weeks away from a report like, hey, De'Aaron Fox has been playing with some lingering knee injury and he's going to be missing some time now? This is how people used to talk about Jokic. The difference is, you're right. I mean, you look at some of the leading assist guys in the league. Where's Sabonis in assists per game? He's got to be up there. Why is it so difficult to just find the stat leaders on Basketball Reference? Like, it shouldn't be. Sabonis is 7th in assists per game. Okay? 7th. Now, let's just look at the guys ahead of him. Harden, an incredible playmaker. And capable of very impressive passes, a wider range of passes in his bag. Fred VanVleet, also a very solid playmaker. Jokic, obviously, we know how great he is as a playmaker. Luka, obviously, we know how great he is as a playmaker. Trae Young, obviously, we know how great. Like, all of these guys are capable of just mind-bending passes. Just like playmaking highlights where you're like, holy fuck, how did he see that guy? And Sacramento, I mean, Sabonis has been a great hub for them, and they run their offense through him. All of their actions pretty much go through him. But man, this is like a polar bear in Arlington type of thing here. I'm being honest. He's an unbelievable rebounder. Like that those stats are real. He's a monster on the glass. 2 centers in the top 10, kind of cool though. That's got to be the first time that's happened in decades. Sabonis might have been up there last year, no? I don't know. I just don't love watching Sabonis play. I don't know. The stats and everything are great, but they're in a rough way. This is a Pacers team that incredibly shorthanded. I mean, obviously they're without Halliburton. They just traded for Siakam, but he's not ready to play yet. So all the guys they traded, Bruce Brown, Nora, who, you know, Bruce Brown did play for them. Nora, those guys are out. They only dressed 11 guys. Kendall Brown. Who's this? Hey, I learned a new player today. Kendall Brown. I clicked on it because I was confused. I was like, it's not Kobe Brown. He's on the Clippers. TJ McConnell, 20 and 10. He was it's kind of interesting. He was a minus 15. This is why plus minus is weird. It's because the Pacers did almost shit their pants at the end of this game. The Kings did damn near shit themselves at the end of this game. It was, I think, like a 16-point lead with like 2 minutes left in this game. And the Kings had the ball down 3 with 5 seconds left. And the Pacers made the right move to intentionally foul. But what was like, when did this crazy comeback start? 2:20 left, 122 to 106. 16-point lead that got shrunk down in the span of 2 minutes to 3. The Pacers are like a turnover machine down the stretch of this game. But they do pull it out. The Kings, 15 of 30, or 18 of 32 from the free throw line, folks. 18 of 32. Malik Monk, 1 of 6. In his defense, one of those misses was an intentional miss at the end of the game to try and get a rebound. But 1 of 6, bro? Are you serious? Come on, dude. Fox, 5 of 9. Fox's free throws have been a disaster this year. I'm telling you, like, if it came out a couple weeks from now that, hey, De'Aaron Fox has been dealing with a knee injury, like, he's going to miss some time, like, that wouldn't surprise me. He just looks so out of it. He looks so out of it, man. I don't know. This was a guy who, like, early in the season, the way he was playing was like, damn, if the Kings end up with a high record, like, what's like, what all has to happen for De'Aaron Fox to, like, win the MVP? Like, that was a legit conversation, like, a month into the season. And now, like, he's probably not, he's almost certainly not even making the All-Star game at this point, right? Just trying to think, the guards in the West, who would he make it over? Not making it over Luka, not making it over Steph, not making it over SGA. Not making it over Anthony Edwards. Am I missing anyone? I mean, I know I am. Trae Young, well, different conferences, but yes, he wouldn't make it over Trae Young. Should we look at the Kings subreddit? Just see, like, how bad is it? How bad is it? No one should leave the court until they make 1,000 free throws each. It's just so weird, their free throw shooting. How bad it is. Lose to the Pacers at home without Hallie. Pick up the phone, Monty. You know what's funny is, I remember I've talked about this before. I witnessed, I don't remember who it was. It was some NBA writer who I thought was just such a, genuinely thought that it was just such a regular statement this guy made where he was like, hey, the Kings need to go out and get another, like, defensive-minded wing. They desperately need one. And Kings fans were, like, shitting all over him. They're like, fuck you, dude. We have Keegan Murray. Like, fuck you. You have no idea how good Keegan Murray is. Like, they were irate. They were so mad at him. Please bench Harrison Barnes. They just gave him a contract extension. That's what's crazy, man. They could have upgraded him so easily in the offseason. They ran it back. You ran back a first-round playoff defeat. Think about that for a second, guys. They ran back a first-round playoff loss. Run it back, baby. Run back what? Run back what? And it's not even like they're like that crazy of a young team. You know, it's not like Fox is on a second contract. Sabonis is on a mega extension now. Nuggets continuity narratives were strong this summer. Yeah, but even then the Nuggets, like, made moves regularly. Went and got Aaron Gordon. That trade for KCP was, like, pretty big. Will Barton and Monte Morris were both, like, pretty big pieces for that Nuggets team. Obviously, they won that trade by a landslide, but this year was pretty much a running back year for the Nuggets. But they just won the championship. Like, that's different. Oh yeah, and they don't send like they send Keon Ellis to the podium whenever they have bad games. That's some loser ass shit, man. Team needs a mental rest or something. We started actually trying with 4 minutes left in the game. I kind of feel like it was Indiana sort of diarrheaed themselves a little bit, but yeah, and even this guy's right. You look at Fox's numbers in these games. This game, 24 points. I mean, at least 6 of those, it feels like we're at the very end, just getting layups at the end of the game when the Kings defense loosened up great, or the Pacers defense loosened up greatly. So this is what, 4 or 5 losses in a row for Sacramento? They're on a 4-game losing streak currently. And over that stretch, not only lose, but lose by 20 to the 76ers in Philly, to be fair, but lose by 20 to the 76ers without Embiid. That insane Bucks game where they had no business even going to overtime. But they do go to overtime. The Bucks shit themselves at the end of regulation. They go to overtime. Then the Kings shit themselves at the end of overtime to lose. Then they blow, what was it, a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Suns in what felt like an improbable game to lose. And now a loss at home to the Pacers without now their 2 best players in Siakam and Halliburton. My cat's here. I'm giving him a little pat on the butt. What do you think, Finn? You got anything you want to say, Finn? Come here. You got something you want to add to the conversation? What you got to say? Let the world hear you. Speak your mind, Finn. Speak your mind. All right, what else is Pacers got a shout out my boy Jarris Walker off the bench in this game. 15 points, 6 of 13. Some off the dribble jumpers, some off the dribble threes, some off the dribble long twos. Never forget when someone called you a menopausal cat lady on Twitter. I think that same person said I had the grooming patterns of, was it the grooming patterns of a menopausal cat lady? I don't even know what that meant. Does that mean that I don't groom myself or I do? I couldn't figure out what that meant. Zach Lowe this morning on Spencer Dinwiddie. It almost looks as if Dinwiddie's on some kind of strike. Oh, God. It's not a great look for Spencer Dinwiddie. He's quit on 2 of his last 3 teams. Shout out to Luka Doncic. Always getting the most out of his teammates. Anyways, the Kings are a wreck. The Kings are an absolute wreck. Still time to turn it around, but even if they do, I don't feel anything about their team at all. They're not a team built for the postseason. They're just not. Sorry. It sucks to say because it's a fun, feel-good story. And anytime I see people say this, like people always like, well, they didn't make the playoffs for like 16 years, dude. Like, it's still cool. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. It is cool. But if the goal is to be like the 6th, 7th seed every year and lose in the first round of the playoffs, congratulations. You're doing that. Bulls beat the Raptors. So funny. I was at like a dinner during the early games. I had like no idea what the fuck happened in this game. I watched the Grizzlies Timberwolves game on TNT. I couldn't go to sleep, so they just rerun this game, the early game on TNT. I thought the Raptors won this game by 30 points. I was thinking about the game the Raptors played 2 nights ago where they beat the Heat by like 20 points. And I was very shocked when the Bulls won. Like it was a rerun of the game that happened, but I had no idea what would happen in the game. So that was a nice, pleasant surprise. Yeah, Kobe White is very inspirational. Vucevic too, man. Maybe I'm too hard on Vuce. Just don't know how he fits into like a real winning team, but he's not terrible. He's not terrible. Scotty Barnes is a fucking nightmare though. I'll tell you that. And Bruce Brown had a nice game too. His debut. I'm interested to see. Would this be like a fun little? Does Bruce Brown get traded in the coming weeks? And this is like a fun little. Remember when Bruce Brown played 5 games on the Raptors? Is it gonna be one of those things? Trae Young coming off the bench and playing power forward for the Raptors. Knicks beat the Wizards. Watched a little bit of the tail end of this game. Brunson took the game over. He had 41. Marvin Bagley, though. Yeah, I was just about to say, Marvin Bagley, in his debut with the Wizards, had a nice little game. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, 5 stocks, 3 blocks. 10 of 16. Like, he had some nice moments. I don't think Bagley's that good of a player. So, him having this good of a game in his debut probably doesn't bode well for the remainder of his career with the Wizards, where he's probably going to be bad. And they're like, wait, what the fuck? What happened to the guy in the first game? But nonetheless, really solid performance from the bag man. And who knows? Maybe he plays well and they build up his value and they can flip him. Poole played pretty well in this game too. Poole hasn't been that disastrous lately. I gotta say, he hasn't been. OG Anunoby is like plus 100 something since he came over to the Knicks. Like, they're just dominating the minutes when he plays on the floor, except in the Mavericks game. How the fuck did the Mavericks pull out that win? I don't know. Makes no sense, really. Makes no sense, really. Really makes no sense. Schizophrenia. Yeah. What do we got on the docket tonight? Obviously, the Mavericks and Warriors game is postponed. Celtics Nuggets. Woo! Could be a good one. Spurs Hornets. Toilet Bowl. Sixers Magic. Okay. Hawks Heat. Hey, Hawks on a little 2-game winning streak. Look out now. Look out. The Heat have yet to lose in their division. Is the streak is on the line? Suns Pelicans. That's pretty fun. Pacers, Blazers, Nets, Lakers. Some pretty good games. Suns, Pelicans, Nuggets, Celtics. Wow, Nuggets, Celtics. My cat is going absolutely insane. So it should be a lot of fun. We'll check really quickly here. New MVP ladder. We'll check it out on NBA.com. This always pisses people off. And I guess we'll take a quick look, too, at the NBA All-Star voting. But it could be a potential finals matchup. We'll look at the updated MVP All-Star voting. I want to do my own All-Star thing, but I'll do it closer, I guess. So Embiid stays number 1. No real problems with this. I mean, he's been absolutely insane. 35 points per game this season, guys. You know how fucking crazy that is? I saw a tweet from NBAU before I went live. He's shooting 60% on long twos. And in the tweet, NBAU mentioned like the NBA league average at like the rim this year is like 58% or something like that. So Embiid is shooting better from long twos than the league as a whole is at the rim. Which is just absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. And obviously he had that great game against the Nuggets, which is great for his MVP odds. I will say maybe my only pushback is, man, he's missed a lot of games so far. And I don't think he's on track. Like, if the second half of the season goes like the first half, I don't think he'd even qualify for this award. But when he's healthy, it's pretty hard to argue it right now, to be honest with you. You got to give him a lot of props because it felt improbable. with the playoff performance last year, like there's no way we trick ourselves into the Embiid thing again for MVP. You got to do something in the playoffs. This is just historically how it's been. And he's just been so good. He's just been so good. Jokic at 2. Shea up to 3. Giannis at 4. Luka at 5. I don't have too much of a problem with this, to be honest with you. SG over Luka is laughable. Well, Luka missed some time. I do kind of agree, but especially like she had a bit of a rough patch over the last week or so. Even the game against the Jazz, he wasn't great. The next 5. Jason Tatum 6. Sabonis at 7. No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Under no circumstances. Under absolutely no circumstances. 7. No fucking way. I would have Anthony Davis higher, honestly, than Sabonis, even though the Lakers stink, kind of. I'd have Kawhi probably higher than Sabonis. I think he's been better. Sorry, I just can't get there. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kings fans or Sabonis fans. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't really enjoy watching him play. There's something about it. 5 more. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Cat. Okay. Cat's kind of interesting. Cat, really? Okay. Cat's been good, but does he really deserve a shout for like MVP voting? Okay. Yeah, wait. Oh my God, they have Cat on here and not Anthony Edwards. Wait, what? I just now realized that. I just assumed Anthony Edwards was on there. No, that had to be a mistake. They must have accidentally put Karl Anthony Towns instead of Anthony Edwards. Like that has to be what went wrong there. They somehow they meant to put Anthony Edwards and they mixed it up and accidentally put Cat. There's no fucking way they have Cat ahead of Anthony Edwards. Here's the All-Star voting returns, the third fan returns. This was yesterday. I don't really care if Luka doesn't get MVP. So many incredible stars nowadays. You have to have a near perfect season. I mean, the Mavericks just need to win games. Like the Thunder have been really good. The Mavericks just need to win games. If they go on like a second half run, it's going to look a lot different, guys. I promise. So Luka's running away with the voting for the guards. Luka will be an all-star starter pretty comfortably. Now I'm interested. Steph's only 300,000 ahead of Shea. Could we get a late surge from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? He deserves to start in this all-star game. It needs to be Luka and Shea as starters and Steph off the bench. It's just time. It's time, Grandpa. Sorry. It's time, old man. Giannis is like, it's kind of crazy how popular Giannis is, huh? He's like so comfortably ahead of LeBron for the most votes. 4.3 million. You just kind of forget how just absurdly popular Giannis is. He is an international icon. Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton, nearly a 1 million vote lead on the next guard in the East. That is so funny to me, man. And look at Trey. Wow, the guard position in the East. Man. Halliburton's obviously going to start. And then who's the next starter? It really might be Trey. Why is DeMar's fucking guard? Any like crazy ones? I want to say if Wemby gets his minute restriction lifted soon and goes on a crazy run, I don't think it's impossible Victor Wembanyama makes the All-Star game this year. Okay, yeah, Austin Reeves being on here is crazy. I mean, John Morant having more votes than Devin Booker is funny. How many games did John Morant play? All 5 Boston starters. Yeah, the Derek White All-Star hype has died down pretty significantly. I'm telling you, a lot would have to happen, but I don't think it's impossible. Sabonis, Jesus Christ. Sabonis will probably make the fucking All-Star game. I don't think it's impossible that Victor Wembanyama makes the All-Star game. Don't think it's impossible. Well, all right, guys, you can check these out every morning, 9 a.m. Central State. Oh, wait, we'll do NFL picks real quick. Real quick, we'll do NFL picks. I got every single one correct last week, except the Cowboys. Fuck them. Losers. Absolute losers. Hold on, I'm organizing things so it looks easy on the eyes. I feel like this, the games aren't that great this week, right? All right. This was the wild card round. I got all of them right but one. Oh, man. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, what do we got? Who's playing? We've got Texans and Ravens. I'm hitching my wagon to the Ravens bandwagon. I want in. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick. I'm going Ravens winning this game. I think they come out and they take care of business. I don't think they're fucking around. Ravens 33, Texans 19. Is that a weird score? Sure. That's my prediction. It's Lamar Jackson's year. Pacers and 49ers. Pacers and 49ers. Jesus. Packers and 49ers. Well, the Packers, hey, if you only watched football for 1 week, you'd think the Packers are the best fucking team in the NFL. If last week was the first time you watched football, you'd think they're the greatest team of all time, potentially. And Jordan Love is the greatest quarterback to ever step on the field. I do think this is uncomfortably close. I think the Packers cover 9.5. And I think this game gets uncomfortable towards the end. I think the 49ers do pull it out. But I think it's oh my God. I'm going to go Packers 31. Fuck. 49ers 31. Packers 27. I think it's a little uncomfortable, a little uneasy. Bucks and Lions. What a hilarious game this is, huh? Regardless of the outcome, this is embarrassing for the Cowboys for multiple reasons. either Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the conference championship game, something you haven't been able to do in 30 years, or the Lions, the laughingstock of the NFL for the better part of 3 decades, make it to a conference championship game before you do. Either one is kind of embarrassing for you, truth be told. I feel like there's no world where the Buccaneers win this game, huh? I feel like there's next to no world. I think the Lions roll here. Get to the conference championship game? Are you serious? In Detroit? That place is going to be a madhouse. I'm going to go Lions 34. High scoring week. Bucks 17. Don't think it's very close. And then Chiefs Bills. Here it is. The game of the millennia. This is the first time that Patrick Mahomes has played on the road in a playoff game outside of the Super Bowl, which doesn't really count. 20 degrees. Gonna be cold as shit. Orchard Park is a sick name for a football stadium, by the way. Oh, wait. For like a city for a stadium to be in. Highmark Stadium is not a sick name, but Orchard Park. This one's tough. Beanot, are you still in here? My NFL fan? I'm kind of leaning Chiefs. I mean, Beanot, you want to get in here and explain to me who I should pick here? I feel confident about all my other picks.
But I'd go Bills.
Bills. Why is that?
The Chiefs' offense is fucking horrible, and Patrick Mahomes can't make these guys catch passes.
But he is Patrick Mahomes, though.
He shit his pants and like throw some Brett Favre pass across the middle of the field, and they should win. They should run the ball all over. Although the thing is, the Chiefs do have a really good defense this year.
So what? Oh my God! The cheapest tickets for the Lions game is $455.
Yeah, you bringing up that game, the fact that one of those teams is gonna make the championship game. Oh God! Like the fact that Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield is gonna be in it, and we got people saying we've got to get rid of Dak. It's like, well, Dak, why can't you do this shit, bro? What is wrong with you?
It really is embarrassing.
Oh, it's like, dude, you literally are an MVP candidate. You get to the playoffs and you shit your pants.
It's absolutely embarrassing. So wait, you think the Bills?
I do. I don't think picking the Chiefs is a bad pick because obviously the Chiefs are capable of playing in cold weather, and it is Mahomes, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. So can't go wrong with this one. But I would go Bills. I just think the Bills are a better team.
All right, I'm gonna trust your judgment.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna trust that it's wrong. I'm going Chiefs.
I don't hate it.
Patrick Mahomes, baby.
I root for greatness, so
fight Raiders, fight Raiders, fight for the school we love so dearly.
Okay, stop that shit.
Chiefs, we'll go 24. 24-21. How about this? In classic Buffalo Bills fashion, they miss a field goal to go to overtime.
Wide right.
Yep. Miss a field goal to go to overtime. The Chiefs win. And they go to the conference. Boom.
I'm rooting for the Ravens the rest of the way, like you said. I like Lamar.
Yep, it's Lamar's time to shine. Any closing thoughts on the Cowboys? Mike McCarthy staying?
Not surprised. Expected it. Dan Quinn will probably get a job somewhere else, which good riddance. Yeah, we'll go 11-6 next year, and we'll lose in the divisional round probably.
Any concerns about the fact that the Cowboys will have a first place schedule next year?
Yeah, that's why I think they'll maybe go 10-7, 11-6. But I mean, they're going to be a good football team in the regular season. Dak will throw 30 touchdowns. They'll be good. Everyone will fall for it again. They'll have a home playoff game because I think the Eagles are falling apart.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be the
how do you feel about all the players? I saw someone. How do you say this guy's name? Junior Thomas.
Wanye. Yeah.
Wanye. Okay. All right.
He's talked all season. He's actually a solid player. I think he's a rookie.
I had no idea how to pronounce that guy's name. And I was like, Junior does not sound right.
He didn't play much.
So, Wanye Thomas tweets out, "Let's run this shit back."
Oh god. Yeah. Hey, be prepared. In a couple months, Dak is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL.
No way. No chance.
Yes, they're going to extend
No
him.
chance,
Because if
dude.
they don't, he'll have a $60 million cap hit next season if they don't extend him.
No fucking chance.
And he has all the leverage because he just was all pro.
No, there's literally no way. I mean, what can they extend him and he not be the?
It is happening.
But can they extend him and he not be the highest paid ever? Can they just be a normal extension?
I mean, there's a chance, but I doubt it, man. Dak has all the leverage. He has a no trade clause. Like everything in his contract, it's in his favor. We are fucked.
Oh my god, that would be so disgusting.
It's gonna be so embarrassing because it's gonna happen, and we're gonna get shit on. It's like you said. I have a friend who's a Dolphins fan, and they lost, and it was embarrassing. I'm like, he's like, dude, this fucking sucks. Everyone shits on Tua. I'm like, dude, everyone in your division hates y'all. When we lose, everyone hates us. Everyone shits on us, and I can't say anything. I'm just like, yep, my quarterback shit his pants.
Well, wait. Okay, I keep seeing Dolphins people say that it was embarrassing. Like everyone thought they were going to lose anyways.
Yeah, it's just because their quarterback every year they do the same thing. He like has good stats, but anytime there's a real big game, he truly shits himself. So that's why they get shit on because Dolphins fans are really passionate and they tell you every year that Tua's an elite quarterback. He's elite, he's elite, he's elite. When in reality, he's system, just like 3-step, get the fucking ball out or else he's gonna turn it over. Yeah, they set themselves up because they tell you he's top 5 and in reality he's like top 20.
Yeah, he's probably better than top 20, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
get where you're coming from though.
but you get what I'm saying, right?
I love the run it back after a first round loss.
Jake Ferguson's like tweeting to him, just like, dude, it's a joke, bro. They have no fear.
They got
I feel bad for Mike McCarthy, honestly, because he's got his hands tied with Jerry. I mean, if you come into this team, you're just fucked.
they got no fucking dogs at all.
No, Micah's not even a dog. On a stupid fucking.
Micah's a puppy.
Oh my god, I hate that fucking. I hate
Get
it.
that podcast off the air.
What drives me crazy is I know he's really good and he generates all these pressures, you know, all these stats where he has 12 pressures in one game. Oh my god, he's so good. Bro, do something in a big game. Please, for the love of God, do something.
Believe you me, I agree.
Oh my god, I'm sick and tired of seeing his PFF grade after a game. Oh, well, Micah, you know he generated all these pressures. Oh, look at this play where he threw the guy down. Oh, while the running back ran for 25 yards. Good for you, Micah. I'm glad you dominated the left guard. Good job, dude.
Oh,